Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're customizing the Grotti Itali RSX in Grand Theft Auto Online. This thing's on sale this week, so I figured you guys might want to see a customization of it. Maybe some of you don't, but I'm going to customize it anyway, so here we are. We're going to get started with the armor, of course. Next up, we're going for the brakes all the way up as well. For the bumpers, we do have some front and rear options for this car. And for the bumper, we are going to go for the carbon splitter. We are going to go for sort of a carbon theme with this vehicle, like I normally do with most of my customizations, I guess. And I think for the rear diffuser, we are going to go for the carbon winged diffuser kit. I think that looks the best out of all the options. For the engine, we're going to go all the way up. Of course, for the exhaust, we have quite a few options here as well. I really like the triple exhaust there, so we're going to go for that. For the hood, we have an option for a carbon hood, a stripped hood, carbon stripped. We got lots of options here. Let's see. Let's run through them, see what all of them are looking like. I personally really like the carbon race fin hood, so we're gonna go for that one. For the headlights, we are gonna go xenon, of course. For the livery on this vehicle, we can of course go for the tricolor, which does look really good. We can go for the Grotti stripe as well, the streamline as well. We got the edgelord, that is kind of a cool one. White pinstripe with the gold pinstripe as well. Candy box racer, dual tone, tri-stripe, khaki, and back to none. So I think I'm going to go for the tricolor. I really like the look of the tricolor on these cars. I think it looks so good. So we're going to go for that. For the mirrors, we are going to go carbon on those as well for sure. For the plate, yellow on black. Now for the rear panel, we can change this up quite a bit. Now we are probably going to go for the carbon slipstream panel. It does look really good. Either that or maybe the carbon exposed vented panel. I also like the look of that. We're actually going to go for that one. And for the respray on this car, usually I would go for something that matches up with one of the three colors on this vehicle. However, I kind of want to make this thing a different color today. And the color that I kind of want to make it is maybe ultra blue. I feel like ultra blue looks really good on this car. There are other colors and we are going to go through them because this car, I know it looks damn good in a red. It also looks really good in yellow as well. So that's another option that we have, of course. Now I have seen this car before in candy red. I've also seen it in a grace red, and it looks really damn good in that as well. One color that I want to try is the crew color. I think that the crew color looks really goddamn good on this thing, so I think we're actually going to go for the crew color. So we're going to go primary, and we're also going to go for the secondary color for the crew color as well. For the interior color, now this is where things can get a little bit interesting. We already have the red stitching, so I kind of don't want to go too crazy with the red interior. However, I still do want to make it good looking, so I'm wondering about maybe going for like a nice white interior. I think that would look pretty good. So I think we're going to go for frost white for the inside of the car. I think that looks okay. It's not too flashy or anything like that, so I kind of like it. And for the roof, we have a couple options here. We can of course go for a carbon roof on this thing. I don't know that we're actually going to though. It does look pretty good. However, I don't know that I want to go for it. I think instead we are going to go for the inset roof just to make the roof look a little bit more complicated. We're going to go for that. And for the side skirts, we do have quite a few options. Now there are some options that do have a Grotti logo on them, like the primary skirt fin or the carbon skirt fin, and that is of course the option that I'm going to go for because I really do like the little details that you guys can see right there. Next up, for the spoiler, this car definitely needs a spoiler. We can go for a pretty low-key spoiler on this car. We could just go for the secondary wing, which of course is the same color as the primary color, so it's not going to make any difference. It also has a ducktail on this thing that you can add, as well as a primary body ducktail and obviously carbon as well. Now the body ducktail is probably my favorite wing on this vehicle, so I think that we are actually going to go for that, and we're going to go for the primary body ducktail. Now that looks super good in my opinion. I think that it fits the car really nicely, so I like that. For the suspension, we are going to lower this thing down as low as we can go. For the tail fin on this vehicle, we can also change that, and I think that we're probably going to go for a carbon tail fin, just because I want it to be a little bit different than the rest of the car, so we'll go for the carbon on that. For the transmission, we are going to upgrade that all the way up. The turbo as well, we're going to upgrade that. And for the wheels, this is where things are going to get a little more complicated. I kind of want to go for some carbon rims on this thing because they look really damn good with this vehicle. However, there are some other rims that I kind of want to try in the street category. Now within the street category, there are a lot of really good looking rims, and the ones that I want to really try out are the Mercy Concave. These look super good in my opinion. I think that we're actually going to go for these, so let's put them on. For the color of these, we are going to go for black. I was thinking about going for something a little more adventurous, maybe like white or something like that, but I feel like it's just too complicated and I don't really want to go for it. The only other thing that I was maybe thinking of is like a gold or sort of a bronzy color, and honestly it does look pretty damn good, I have to say, so I think we are actually going to go for some bronze rims on this. I wasn't planning to do that, but they look pretty good. We are going to go for bulletproof tires as well, and of course we're going to tint the windows all the way out. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the RSX here. I think that this thing looks pretty damn good. We're going to take it outside, we're going to do a sound test and a full review. Alright, so here we are outside. Let's see what the Grotti Itali RSX actually sounds like. Sounds like a supercar should, sounds pretty damn good. Now I just want to take a look at the customization here for a second. I do think that this car turned out really nicely. I think that the bronze on the rims actually works really well with this, so I'm pretty happy that I actually ended up going for that. Now the RSX is one of the faster sports cars in Grand Theft Auto Online, and yes, you heard that right, this thing is a sports car, not a supercar. Although it could very easily be in the supercars category. Now there's a lot of debate within the community. If you actually race, you probably will know that the Itali GTO is the better car to race with than the Grotti Itali RSX, because this thing is a little bit broken. Some of the downforce modifiers just never got applied to this car like they should have by Rockstar, so it's a little bit less well performing than it actually should be, and unfortunately as a result of that it is not quite as fast as the Itali GTO around most tracks, unless the tracks have insanely long straightaways. The RSX does have a much better top speed than the Itali GTO, as well as it also has kind of better acceleration depending on who you ask. Personally, I think that the GTO actually has better acceleration. There are definitely people that would argue that the RSX actually has better acceleration, so I'm not really sure, exactly what is 100% objective fact. All that I know is I really like to race the Itali GTO. However, that's not to say that the Itali RSX is not a fantastic car. This thing handles very nicely, even without the downforce modifier being applied correctly to it. It also accelerates very hard, and like I mentioned before, it has a pretty damn good top speed. And of course, while doing all of these things, it does look very good doing them. The RSX is probably one of my favorite looking sports cars in the entire game. It could definitely be in the supercars category, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it is within the sports cars category. So there you have it. The RSX is a pretty good car. If you're looking for a great car to race with in Grand Theft Auto Online for the sports category, the RSX is pretty damn good. However, the Itali GTO is a little bit cheaper, and for me personally and quite a lot of other people, the Itali GTO will outperform the Grotti Itali RSX. Now I know that the RSX seems to have a lot of die-hard fans who will probably argue with me about that in the comments on this video, but just know that this is my opinion, and I do play races quite a lot in Grand Theft Auto Online, so I think that I have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about. Now, none of this is to say the Grotti Itali RSX is a bad car. The Itali GTO is just simply better performance-wise. However, looks-wise, I would 100% take the Grotti Itali RSX over the GTO. Both are great cars. The RSX does come in at a bit of a higher price, which is unfortunate. This thing is quite expensive. I believe it's actually one of the most expensive vehicles in the game, if not the most expensive vehicle in the game that is not weaponized. So that is pretty crazy. Anyway guys, that is pretty much it for the Itali RSX customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you want me to customize some of the other cars that are on sale this week, let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.